Saints fans, and happy Friday. I hope all of you had a wonderful week. I hope you guys have a great weekend up ahead for your New Year's Eve. First of all, be safe, take an Uber, don't drink and drive, and have some fun and spend some time with your loved ones, your friends and family. But today's video, obviously, we're not in the studio. I'm at home. It's my day off. But I saw the Katherine Terrell reports about Ryan Ramczyk over at ESPN, and I just had to get on the microphone and talk some ones and twos. So here's the thing. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit more relaxed kind of video. It's just going to be me talking to you guys. No graphics. We're just going to be hanging out, talking ball, and at the end of the day, I like just getting on the mic and spitting with you guys. So I want to encourage you before we get into the report to subscribe to the channel. We are actually 250 subs away from getting to 25,000 subs. So if you're not going to do it for me, do it for the GOAT number 25, Reggie Bush. Free Reggie, give him his Heisman back, and subscribe and hit that thumbs up icon. But let's talk about the 29-year-old, 2017, 32nd overall pick out of Wisconsin in Ryan Ramczyk. So I'm going to be looking over some of my notes, talking about what Katherine Terrell said, and also what Ryan Ramczyk said in his quotes about potential fixes, surgeries, a possible retirement. So we got a lot to discuss, so I encourage you to stick around for the whole video. But I want to set the scene by talking about the production of Ryan Ramczyk. And ever since he's entered the league, he's been a very quality offensive tackle. He's held it down on the line. And quite honestly, he's been a huge reason for the offensive success when Drew Brees was around. Alvin Kamara. I mean, do y'all remember the Alvin Kamara 6-touchdown game? Ryan Ramczyk was huge in that. His blocking in that game was stellar, and that is half the reason why Alvin Kamara was able to find the end zone so many times. So I will say this, the PFF numbers this year, kind of down in terms of the production that we expect out of Ramczyk. His overall grade at a 73.5. His pass blocking grade is at a 73.6. Run blocking grade, 67.3. He has allowed 4 sacks, 2 hits, 25 pressures, and he has been responsible for 4 penalties. So the production has been on the decline since 2019, and in that year, he had an overall grade of 90.8, an 82.3 pass blocking grade, a 91.8 run blocking grade. And in 2021, he did miss 7 games due to a knee injury. And we're talking about this because Ramczyk is dealing with a knee injury right now. He didn't play last week against the Rams on Thursday Night Football because of that knee injury. So Landon Young had to fill in for him. And why I think it's important for Ramczyk to get back out on the field, Landon Young last week in replacing Ramczyk had a 41.6 overall PFF grade, a 29.3 pass blocking grade, and a 51.9 run blocking grade on 60 total snaps. That's not ideal. Ramczyk is a great football player. He has been stellar. He's tough. He plays through injuries, and he is a really big factor in this Saints offense, and I want to see him continue to be a part of the future, but I want to see him get healthy, and I want to see them address that knee injury that's been lingering since 2021. I got way more thoughts. We're going to dive into what Ryan Ramczyk has actually been saying to media and everything, but before we get to that, I want to give you guys a friendly reminder to check out our sponsor, Prize Picks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. It's so much fun. I literally hop on it every single morning before I head to work because there's always something to go make some money on. In terms of the projections I'm rolling with, I definitely like the more on Jalen Milroe's passing yards against the Michigan Wolverines. I think that he's going to be able to overtake the Wolverines and Jim Harbaugh to take on and get a rematch against the Texas Longhorns. I don't know if Michael Penix is going to be able to throw that many yards because I think that Texas defense is going to come out and try to make a statement. So I'm going to go with more passing yards for Jalen Milroe, less passing yards for Michael Penix Jr. But guys, you have to use prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use the promo code CLNS and you can get an $100 deposit match on your first entry. Prize Picks is daily fantasy sports made easy. It's so much fun. Because you're my best friends and because I love you, I'm going to go ahead and put all that information in the comment section and description of this video. Shout out to Prize Picks, making it's daily fantasy sports made easy. Thank you for sponsoring today's video. So let's dive into the past 2 games and what Ryan Ramczyk has been saying. So he missed the last 2 games due to that knee injury, as we said a little bit ago. And he's actually going to be talking with doctors in the offseason to see whether there is anything that could fix the issues that have lingered over the past few seasons. Now, there are reports and there's speculation that he probably might need some surgery. So I'm going to dive into what Ryan Ramczyk said on the possible fix, and here's what he said. I think those are discussions we are going to have that need to be had, and we'll go from there. I'll talk with surgeons, doctors, get as much information as I can, and then just make the best decision. Now, I'm going to include all of the quotes in the description of this video so you guys can go and read back and see what he said in case you guys missed the quote or want to see exactly what he said. Ryan Ramczyk did also add, there's not a lot of cartilage left in that injured knee, unfortunately. So I don't know if you guys know what that means, but basically, I'm trying to see if I have anything around here. Okay, so I have a tag to this jacket that I actually got for Christmas. So if this is your knee right here, this is the cartilage. It's kind of like a cushion that'll keep the knees from rubbing against each other, keep the bone from rubbing each other. None of that's there. So it's bone on bone rubbing against each other. And as a lineman, that can't feel good. I was a lineman back in the day, and I can show you right now. You don't want knee injuries. You don't want a lack of cartilage there. You definitely want to have as much cushion as you can, especially when you're holding it down at tackle. That's something that you can't take lightly. You have to take that kind of thing seriously, because I know we're all football fans, and I know that at the end of the day we want our team to win, but I want my players and I want the people that I root on to be able to go and have a long, happy life outside of football, because there's so much more to life than football. So that's just kind of some personal thoughts on that there. But Ramczyk did say there's not a lot of cartilage left in that knee, so not ideal situation there. And in terms of the injury this year, Ramczyk also added, this year it's bugged me a little bit more than it has in the past. And at some point, I just couldn't play anymore. And when his knee got hurt, he said it was really week 1 that lit my knee up. So kind of dealing with it all year. After the last game, I think it was Carolina, I just couldn't go anymore. So that is interesting, and that is something worth monitoring and worth noting. And if you guys could throw a Ram in the chat, type Ryan, type RR for Ryan Ramczyk, because we hate these injuries. Show the guy some love. Let's wish him a speedy recovery. Let's hope that this offseason you don't have to have any major, huge, crazy surgeries. Let's hope that it can be a easy, smooth fix, and that Ramczyk can be able to come back next season and play at a very high level once again. So show him some love in the comment section. In terms of the financials, that is something that we have to talk about. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I found this quote really, really interesting. So Ramczyk, when asked, do you want to still play? Is retiring an option? Is that something that you're considering? Like what's kind of the plan here? He said, I feel like I'm not done yet. I feel like I still want to play. I feel like I'm still passionate about the game. When you think about that, my mind frame is, quote, I want to play and I want to keep doing it. So what can I do to get better, to not have this happen in season? So that's kind of where I feel like surgery might be something that is a possibility. Let's call it how it is. A spade is a spade. Football players get injured. Newsflash, injuries happen in football. So it is important, I think, that Ramczyk is able to get this surgery, not just in terms of his playing career, but so that way he can have like a lifelong, long-term, happy, just healthy life for his knee outside of football, like I was saying earlier. But let's get to the financials and let's talk about the money here. So in 2021, he was given a $96 million extension that at the time made him the highest paid right tackle in the league. And he still has 3 years remaining on that deal. So if Ramczyk were to retire, the cap number of $27 million will be the second highest number in 2024 on the books. So replacing Ramczyk before June 1st would result in a $32 million dead money hit due to the prorated signing bonus amounts remaining on his deal. Now, the Saints are about $87 million over the cap from what I saw and from what I understand for next season. Obviously, there will be a lot of cap gymnastics, a lot of restructuring contracts, a lot of this, a lot of that, people getting cut. For the record, I don't think Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara are going to be on a different team next year. the financials are just way too wonky. They're going to be around next year. That's just my personal opinion, my personal thoughts. Check Nick Underhill's Twitter if you disagree with me. But I do want to add something that Katherine Terrell mentioned in her article that I thought adds some context and might be able to be an interesting thing. And it's about when Drew Brees did retire back in 2021. So she said that the Saints actually lowered his salary to the veteran minimum, allowing them to spend money in free agency and spread out his cap over 2 years. Ramczyk will enter the 2024 offseason with a base salary of $17 million. $6.5 million of which was guaranteed for injury, and that portion will become fully guaranteed on the third day of the 2024 league year. So that is interesting. That is just adding some context in terms of how they could spread out the money and not have a huge cap hit on 1 year to just add to the damage that's already been done in terms of that cap number. But I wanted to just take a minute, share what Katherine Terrell said of ESPN. She's a great beat writer. She's really plugged into the New Orleans Saints, so I encourage you to check out more of her work. Give her a follow on social media if you want more coverage. But I think that the impact of Ryan Ramczyk is huge because not only has the offensive line been a massive problem for this team, I think it's been the biggest problem, but I also think that when you have guys that are aging and are injured, for example, you also have Andrus Peat, James Hurst, like Eric McCoy. These guys are not young football players. They're getting kind of up there in the age column. Cesar Ruiz just signed a pretty nice extension in this past offseason, yet he's not really playing all that well. I mean, PFF is saying he's not playing all that well, but when you do the eye test, when you watch him actually play, some good, some bad, some ugly. Ultimately, you want better production out of a guy you just paid a bunch of money and gave a really big extension to. So that's just kind of the update around Ryan Ramczyk. I think that this is some concerning news. I think that this is something that the Saints need to take seriously. I think that they need to allow Ryan Ramczyk to get the time he needs to recover. Don't force him back. Don't rush him back or anything. Let him take this time to recover. Get surgery if he needs it. Talk to medical professionals. Get extra opinions. Get all of that done. Because Ryan Ramczyk is a good football player. And quite honestly, he's been a good football player for this team for a long time. And I think that this football club is a lot better when the trenches are holding it down. They haven't done it this year. They didn't do it last year. They didn't do it the year before that. Now you're looking at 3 years in a row of possibly missing the playoffs. So, guys, once again, thank you for tuning in on my off day. I hope you enjoyed the coverage. I hope you guys you leave this video as a little bit smarter of a fan and a little bit more informed. I definitely learned something while I was getting this video ready. So, as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. And in case you guys want to check out more content, we have 2 videos right down here. And you can also click this little icon right here. It's pretty cool, black and gold, to subscribe and join our channel. Again, we're trying to get to 25,000 subs ASAP. Our goal was 30K by the end of the season. Thanks to Dennis Allen, it feels like that's not going to happen. But I can tell you this. We're going to keep giving you guys great coverage. Going to keep giving you guys mock drafts, free agency, trade, cut candidates, head coach replacements, offensive coordinator replacements, all that and more, all throughout the offseason and for the remainder of the regular season. We will be live on Sunday for the watch party against the Bucs, in our pregame show. I encourage you all to join. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.